Hi, welcome to a very special episode. I'm Blastinus, and, well, the original Black Mesa does not actually have a hazard course level. This is, of course, like the introductory tutorial level that was in the original Half-Life, and it had to be added later on by a team of dedicated modders. And, well, here we go. I'm going to be splicing in other hazard course levels as the need requires.
The outside temperature is 79 degrees, with an estimated high of 90. The Black Mesa compound is maintained at a pleasant 68 degrees at all times.
So, you probably know about the hazard course if you're familiar with Half-Life. It actually, it's gone through a number of iterations. This little introductory portion is, entirely new, but it's building on the hazard course that was in the PlayStation 2 version. I'll be cutting to the specific part where it actually intersects with it. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly new content.
If you're here to see someone at the Habitoran payroll office, better just have a seat. They're not open for another half an hour.
I actually do like this implication that the training area is right next to the HR area.
What?
Customer.
Oh, hey. Sorry about that. It's a good read. You're Dr. Freeman, right? We were told to expect you.
The one and only, yes.
You spend too much time reading those magazines.
They're doing a series on the Hazardous Environment Combat Unit. Those guys do some seriously good work.
Sure.
But to see you take them on.
Hey, you might get a chance sooner than you expect.
Dr. Freeman, we've been waiting for you. Don't worry, I'm sure you hit some traffic in the middle of the desert. At any rate, welcome to the Black Mesa Training Facility. Things have been in a state of commotion lately, but we're glad you're here. Just let me double-check your file. I see you've already signed our legal disclaimer. I, Gordon Freeman, hereby agree to the following terms, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. In any case of serious injury, dismemberment, toxic poisoning, burns, rashes, lesions, blah, blah, etc., hereby agree to waive...
Black Mesa Research Facility. Yes, it looks very good. Now, if I recall, you're here for standard HEV training. Oh, wait a minute. Seems someone has made an error and signed you up for the Enhanced Security Training's Firearms 101 as well. Well, if this is on file, it means the required personnel are already setting up. No sense letting it go to waste.
Yeah, in the original game, there was a firearms portion in the hazard course that they'd never really explained as to why a research assistant would need that, so this is their basic justification for it. It's kind of neat. We'll be getting to that shortly.
Finally. Simowitz, he's here.
Oh dear. Why aren't these sensors working? I hope they're not needed for today's training run. Salutations, Gordon. I thought I should drop in to welcome you, as well as ensure everything goes smoothly. They assure me that all the training facility software is in working order. Best of luck.
Thanks, Kleiner.
Welcome to the hazard course, Dr. Freeman. I trust you've read the pamphlet, so we'll just skip ahead to the information it omitted.
We'll be monitoring your vital signs remotely via the HEV suit you'll be using. But do pay attention to your adrenaline flow, fatigue, any lightheadedness, extreme pressure, arrhythmia, or potential fractures.
You know, the usual. Most of the course is self-explanatory.
Often literally.
But we'll be around to give you any tips you might need.
As well as grade you on your performance.
So do try to give us a good show. and enjoy yourself in there.
The entrance is the elevator shaft on the left of the room. Come with me.
Yeah, all these characters, they're just kind of made up for this mod, but you know what, they do provide a little bit of extra flavor to the whole experience. The original training run isn't exactly what you call dry, but yeah, Hazard Course doesn't really have much in the way of unexpected twists or sudden incidents that require the expertise of a... yeah. Never mind.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Mesa Hazard Course, where you will be trained in the use of the Hazardous Environment Suit. I am your holographic assistant. If you see one of these buttons, press it, and I will appear to demonstrate certain moves. Let's begin by stepping into your suit. You can see it suspended in the next room.
This here is a pretty common introductory segment.
Black Mesa Hazard Course for Security Guard Training. I'll be your holographic guide to assist you in your training. Begin by putting on your vest and helmet. You'll find this equipment in the next room.
Yep, even the security guards get their own variant on it.
Press it and I'll repeat instructions or show you how things are done.
Welcome to the HE.
Yeah, the suit is sort of like, eventually like sort of scaled up in terms of its presentation. In the original Half-Life, as you saw, it was just kind of sitting in the middle of a room.
When your armor becomes too damaged to be useful, you'll need to find a fresh vest or helmet to protect yourself.
And yeah, basically, like, they eventually, like, gave it a little bit more pizzazz. Now, you might have been wondering about our holographic assistant. That's actually Gina Cross, a character who's going to become important in the next couple of games. So, look out for that.
Moving around in your HEV suit can be slightly disorienting at first. Take a moment to familiarize yourself with basic movement.
Yeah. It's not really stated how heavy the HEV suit is, but generally, yeah, like there is the implication that the suit does actually provide a sort of artificial, like, adrenal stimulation or whatever in order to provide its fast movement and sort of like constant endurance you'd expect from a first-person shooter protagonist, like being able to just kind of run forever without tiring out. And of course the suit itself has on multiple times talked about like administering morphine and other chemicals in order to keep us stimulated.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure it's been filtered at least a bit. You'll be sprayed with disinfectant before you leave the course. For all our benefit.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. Now these symbols here, you might note that one there, like the one where it's the guy with the glasses and the beard. Yeah, that's actually something that kind of comes up with, well, you probably heard me mention already the YouTube series Freeman's Mind. That's basically the logo that's used as sort of like the intro for that series. It's actually really good. I think you should check it out sometime. Like, it presents a sort of different view of Gordon Freeman than I'm kind of presenting here, but at the same time, it's very interesting and very hilarious. I like it a lot.
Good work. Those suits can be tricky for new users. Move on to the next area.
You will need to duck and stay low to clear the next set of pipes. Moving while crouched will also minimize movement noise, making you harder to hear.
Not like stealth actually plays a huge role in the game, but, you know, for the tentacles in particular, during the blast pit level, like, you need to know how to be quiet.
We will now combine skills. You will need to jump, duck, and then jump again.
Yeah, this is pretty elementary, but they really want to kind of hammer that in.
Ready for the next room, I'd say.
Sometimes you'll need to get extra height in order to get over an obstacle or into a tight space. Try jumping forward and pulling your legs up mid-air to clear the obstacle. It's tricky at first, but you'll find it comes in handy. Watch me and then try it yourself.
Crouch jumping in particular is something that's not really intuitive, but is sort of also essential for platforming. I've talked about it at length.
Climbing ladders in your suit may be a bit tricky.
Walk directly into the ladder, look up, and continue moving forward. If you want to come back down, just move backward.
They still think we need to teach people how to use ladders.
Yeah, that's one of the sort of things that people have made fun of a lot with the hazard course, is that they teach you things that are stuff that you probably should have known already if you were, you know, alive.
The next 3 jumps are more difficult to make. It helps to get a running start and lift your legs mid-air. If you can make all 3 in a continuous run, you're done. Great work! Now, there's one more style of jumping you need to learn. Long jumping requires its own module seen here. When wearing the module, you will be able to activate it to give your jumps extra horizontal movement. When you're at the platform, press the button and I will demonstrate the move.
This is a prototype of the module, by the way. Let us know if you experience any problems.
Yeah, we've already gone over the long jump in length, but what's surprising to me is actually that it was the PlayStation 2 version that came up first with the double tap motion. That I did not know until I started really doing this LP.
Now that you're up here, there's only one way down. Find the target on the floor below and do your best to land on it.
Bullseye.
And if you think that you can break your fall by dropping on the boxes instead, no, they thought of that.
If you ever have reason to wear one again, it should protect you from injuries like that.
Give you some first aid in the next.
Yeah, that's not gonna help. Well, it did a little, I guess, but...
You'll find medical kits like this one throughout the Black Mesa Research Facility. To restore your health, walk up to a med kit, then press and hold your use key. Your health will recover gradually until you're at full health or until the kit is depleted. Once the light goes out, a med kit cannot be reused.
Yeah, they needed a way in order to demonstrate the health kits. Like, if you could not injure yourself, then it would kind of defeat the whole purpose of the exercise now, wouldn't it?
Qualified science personnel wearing powered hazardous environment equipment, so they will be inaccessible to you during your duties.
Moving right along.
To spin that bridge, turn the control wheel. Please note that some valves or wheels may turn back to their original position if they are not fully turned.
Yeah, this is actually kind of embarrassing to say, but I actually ended up messing this one up. But don't worry. All these obstacles have handy ways of getting you right back to where you were because, you know, it's designed to be low pressure. You can just figure it out at your own pace.
Sometimes you'll need to rely on more than your suit to navigate a tight space or get past obstacles. Try crossing this gap on your own. What you really need to do is to push that box into the pit and climb over.
That's right. Physics. Really exciting, no? And there are all these sort of side passages you may notice. That's because this particular mod features an optional survival mode called 5 Nights at the Hazard Course. Yeah, it's exactly what you expect, and I am not gonna do it. No, sir.
If you can't push the obstacle out of your way, you might try pulling or lifting it. Move these crates to clear your path and get onto the platform.
Obviously, some of the areas have had modification because, well, the Havoc physics engine allows you to do things that you couldn't do in Gold Source, like picking up and dropping boxes. Originally, you were just supposed to grab the box and sort of drag it backwards in order to get it out of the way, but, well...
If nothing else works, you might try alternate means of removing the obstacle. Pick up the crowbar on the table and pry open the large crates in your path.
Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing how long it took for me to see that, but, well, in my defense, I haven't done the hazard course in years.
Turn your suit's flashlight on for this next area and use it to navigate the path. If you fall, locate the ladder and try again.
You can actually take some shortcuts in this course because, well, yeah.
Remember, your flashlight drains power, so switch it off when you're not using it.
Don't worry, we'll get you a fresh set of rechargeables when we issue your suit. Auxiliary power shouldn't be a problem anytime in the next decade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things like fall mitigation and infinite power are things that were introduced in Black Mesa, and they sort of... Yeah, they make reference to it as a sort of, like, catchy in-joke.
One moment. Control? Control! Can someone please explain to me why this guy looks like an orange tank?
Nothing to be alarmed about, Range. He's with the science team's HEV project, and there was a mix-up with his file. Continue as planned.
As planned. Yeah. Okay. One HEV scientist coming in.
So, I'm going to apologize in advance. There's a Brooklyn accent incoming.
You're about to be dispensed a standard issue 9mm pistol and ammunition.
Or rather, a Brooklyn accent as done by Elmer Fudd.
That you aren't exactly supposed to be here today, but, whatever. Hey, you're scheduled for it. They're paying for it, so let's make the most of it, alright? I'll teach you how to use some of my cool toys. There are 3 rules on my range. Always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot, and always keep the gun unloaded until ready to use.
Just give me the gun already.
Go ahead and load it now, though, because we're about to begin. Hold your weapon in a 2-handed grip, both thumbs forward, feet shoulder width apart. Put 7 rounds in the center ring of each target.
You know, I've actually had a chance to fire a gun in my lifetime, and yeah, these aren't exactly really bad points of advice.
For a first-time shooter.
Although they would probably tell you to wear ear protection, and also to not fire until they cleared you to fire, as well as, putting the gun down when you're not using it and never pointing it at the instructor. Things like that.
Okay, let's move on to an automatic weapon system. Head into the armory behind you. This is your standard 9mm submachine gun setup with an attached impact grenade launcher. Grab ammo and grenades, load up, and they'll open the next room for you. For this course of fire, you'll have to hit every target in order to proceed. If you miss the first time, don't worry, they'll come around again. Some targets are behind cover. Use grenades to hit those ones. Go to the marker on the floor when you are ready. Initiating in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. You can actually take your time with this course. Like, they're not going to be, like, judging you if you go too slowly. Well, at least not now. But as far as, like, this part goes, like, yeah, things will just keep on activating, but they'll never, like, go out of your sight to the point where, like, you won't be able to finish. That would be mean-spirited. Though, I could honestly see them doing that, being all like, oops, sorry, you were too slow. I guess you're not fit to wear or to use a firearm after all. What kind of a scientist are you?
All the weight on their gear, but, well, I guess that doesn't make much of a difference to you. But, regardless, just be careful with it. Remember, finger off the trigger. But hey, man, look, don't stress too much about any of it, alright? I don't think you're ever gonna reach a point in your life where you need to use a submachine gun with a grenade launcher attached to it, right? But you know, whatever. I hope you had fun. Take care.
Oh yeah, like, it would be absolutely silly, like, a scientist using a gun? And a gun with, like, a grenade launcher attached to it? Like, who would need a grenade launcher in a science facility? There are actually some more intricacies of the targeting mechanics in the PlayStation 2 version, but I'll get to that when we get there.
Congratulations. You have completed the Black Mesa target range.
Ah, welcome back. Did you learn something about security duty?
Mostly I just learned that they use guns, which, I'm pretty sure I knew already.
Your HEV suit monitors blood oxygen levels, notifying you when you need an air supply. As you swim through this course, your oxygen levels will drop. At multiple points, you will be given opportunity to surface for air.
So, swimming. Not really much to say about that, other than, of course, that there's going to be this weird animation that we're about to see in a second.
Swim up and catch your breath, then move on to the rest of the course.
Yeah, that one's a little bit goofy looking, but, well, I guess swimming in general, like, you have to be very talented in order to make swimming look graceful.
Great job. You're almost done.
So why am I showing off the hazard course, you might be wondering? Well, actually, believe it or not, the hazard course is going to be important in not only the next game, but the game after that. Like, the Gearbox games actually are very concerned with the hazard course, and we'll be seeing that very shortly after we're done with Blue Shift.
Power 100%.
The following series of rooms simulate lab disasters and other hazardous conditions your suit is designed to protect you from. Do not worry. If you charged your suit in the previous room, you will be in no danger.
And if you didn't, we have a medical team standing by.
We have a medical team on standby for the hazard course ASAP.
If you pass through fire or steam, you will see a heat damage icon light up. Directional indicators in the center of the display show you where damage is coming from.
You might be wondering, and yes, you can die in the hazard course. It's difficult though, like things don't actually do a whole lot of damage. And yes, like this version actually teaches you the stupid, like put the valve on the socket puzzle. The only one that Black Mesa can even come up with, really. I don't know. I'm already done with Black Mesa. I don't really feel like judging it any longer. Like, it is overall like a really good game.
Buttons on the fire doors act as a toggle once the heat sensor is triggered. Just hit the button to get out.
We saw this before in We've Got Hostels. Usually we got through before they closed, but if we didn't, then yeah, you can just press the button in order to make the door go back up.
I bet you want a chance to cool down.
Exposure to extreme cold will sap your suit's power supply. Make your way through the next chamber quickly.
Now this pipe here, I'm reasonably sure that this pipe looks like you should be able to climb up it, but for some reason it blocks you from doing so. Kind of a waste of potential, really.
The HEV suit dampens electric shocks as well.
That doesn't mean you should go for a dip, though. And don't try to turn off the power. The room isn't designed for that.
What a very close approximation of the disaster in Office Complex. And also having to get past a fence in the start of Questionable Ethics. Yeah, this particular disaster area harkens back to a whole lot of different set pieces.
It's your suit's Geiger counter and radiation display. Biohazards are also displayed with a luminous icon.
Don't worry, that suit is properly shielded in all the right places. And this is a very low dose for demonstration purposes only.
The marker chemicals are probably just as radioactive as what we've allowed through. Even so, don't worry if your vision blurs a bit.
And don't worry, I've actually turned off the visual grain from radiation, so we don't have to worry about that little annoyance.
Levels detected.
This warehouse area. This seems somewhat familiar, but as it is, it's just set dressing.
As demonstrated, the HEV suit is more than capable of keeping you safe from any and all forms of damage. Please use the elevator to your right.
Now we're getting up to the area of the hazard course which I find the most interesting. It's going to be an escort section, but some versions of the hazard course let us keep our guns and others don't.
Lead a security guard into the next room. He will let you back into the transit system. Security guard into the next room.
And yeah, this results in shenanigans. Some pretty hefty shenanigans, actually. Like, you would think that, like in any other sequence, they would just, fade to black with, a text scroll saying, Gordon Freeman's status detained or something. But no, they think that a couple of turrets will solve the problem. And they don't, leaving us stranded here with no way to advance. This is actually one of the few instances I know of where you can actually soft lock the game. And so, they took some countermeasures when we went into the Gearbox games.
Lead a scientist into the next room. He will open the...
Proceeding to personnel area. Removing weapons now.
I don't know how they do that. Maybe they just, use magic or whatever. But the point is, Black Mesa doesn't take away your weapons.
Have personal clearance to enter. Explain the situation to a guard, and they will let you through.
Well, you see, it's kind of like this.
And lead him to the retinal scanner. He will lead you into the final section of the course.
Psych.
Hello, sir.
Security officer reports men down in Sector A. Medical help required.
Yeah, you can see how things might be escalating a little bit faster than in the original Half-Life. I mean, it's the same turrets, but they're a whole lot more durable. And, Yeah, this happens.
You get down! Get down! Yeah, right there! Put him down, quick!
Why do they get so, like, hung up on the fact that we're wearing orange? Haven't you ever seen a guy wearing orange before? And I think it's possible to survive all these waves of enemies, but I don't honestly know for sure. Like, you have these vending machines that dispense, like, ridiculous amounts of soda. So theoretically, you could keep your health up if you're careful, but I don't know. I haven't seen the end of this segment.
Situation to a guard, and they will let you through. Ask the security guard to let you through and lead him to the retinal scanner. He will let you into the final section of the course.
Hello, sir. Take me to the scanner and I'll open it.
Wow, really hamming up your part, aren't you? But actually, that must be kind of fun, like having demonstration guard on your resume.
Thanks for coming.
Good job, Doc. Now, if you could just hand over your weapons.
If we must. That actually refers to one other exploit you can do, like in the original Half-Life, if you get the guard to open the door and then you immediately turn around and shoot him in the head, you can actually run to this next segment and just kind of get away with murder without any consequences.
Suit. This lever-controlled train will transport you to a location where your training associates are waiting for you. Have a very safe and productive day.
Yes, I will. And this is about where any other hazard course would end, but there's actually one last wrinkle in the Black Mesa hazard course, which we'll see as soon as we round the bend.
Say cheese.
Congratulations, Dr. Freeman.
Yes, you actually made it.
And in the 39th percentile of time used to complete it.
Yeah, this is actually timed, and if you run very quickly through the course, you actually get a different response at the end. But mostly it's just that, yeah, you learn that there's someone else who also runs the course, which, as we saw from the Blue Shift hazard course, is, yeah, Barney. Barney also apparently runs the course a lot, so...
Time shooting targets, either.
Well, at any rate, let's get the good doctor out of that training suit and onto the tour. I believe there's someone waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
This way, Dr. Freeman.
And I'll see you guys in the next chapter of Blue Shift. See you then.